Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Matilda Mossman Show. I'm Bruce Howard, joined by the head women's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, Matilda Mossman. And Coach, we are into the league season now. Great win against OSU. We talked about that on the last show, but unfortunately the league is really good. Even without UConn, it's still a very, very good league. UCF was the first game, and then Temple unfortunately dropped both of those games, but it's a tough league, isn't it?
It really is, and what's amazing is that we only had one non-conference game,
right,
and then boom, right into conference play. So that's been a little bit unusual, and it also it hasn't given us an opportunity to really evaluate our student athletes in a game setting. You know, you evaluate them in practice, but sometimes in a game they play a little differently. So it's only 3 games into the year, and we haven't really had a chance to really evaluate, mainly because the games have been so close, and so you can't play as many people. Although in the Temple game we did play a lot of people because we were struggling to score, and we were trying to find a spark, and we just never found that spark. But Central Florida, they were picked second preseason in the league. They play a matchup 3-2 defense, which we don't see every day, so that presents some problems because you're not accustomed to attacking it. And even though we spent a lot of time, we got an extra day because the Wichita State game got postponed, but even with an extra day, we just couldn't find ways to attack their defense. We held them to a low scoring, but anytime you play Central Florida, it's going to be a low scoring game. But I thought our kids competed with 4 minutes to play. It was a 3-point game. We were right there, and then couldn't make the key buckets at the end to win. And then up at Temple, we win the first quarter, we win the second quarter, and we're not shooting great. I think we shot like 38% in that first half. And then we come out in the second half, and all of a sudden we can't find the basket, and now we're shooting 20%. And then the fourth quarter we shoot a little worse. So it's been about us getting into a rhythm offensively, finding the right pieces on the floor at the same time, and it's just a process. It's gonna take a little while to figure all that out, because we have 3 freshmen, we have 2 transfers, and we have another player who sat out last year. So that's 6 new people on the roster, and you're just still trying to figure out who belongs where.
Oh, absolutely. And usually during that exhibition and then into the non-league schedule, you're able to do that. You're able to cobble stuff together, who plays with who well in a game situation. You just haven't had the chance to do that yet, and hopefully that obviously will come.
Yeah, it's going to come. I think our players primarily just have to be patient, and they've got to take advantage of their opportunities. When you get an opportunity to be on the floor, you have to take advantage of that. And so it's still kind of a little trial and error. And but again, guys have been competing. They're working hard. And it's all going to come together. It will. We just have to be patient and give it a chance.
In the UCF game, I thought your team matched their physicality, because it's not only a low-scoring game with them usually, but it's also a very physical game. And I thought you guys played them pretty well chest to chest.
Yeah, I think so. Inside we're always going to be a little bit outmanned just because of our lack of size, and but I thought we did a good job of taking advantage of our quickness, and Ella Rafkelsdoder still did a good job of defending their post players. And then Desiree Lewis is always going to be a good defensive player, and we held them pretty well. But they've got a good guard combo out front. Ashley Battles is their leading scorer. Played well against us, and just couldn't shut her down when we needed to. But again, that game, we were right there in it at the end, and over the course of time, these guys will be able to figure out how to close out those kind of games.
And a long road trip to Temple in Philadelphia, you play that game, and Desiree Lewis really does come through for you with 16 points, and it was not only her inside game, but it was the fact that she popped in a couple of 3-pointers, which was terrific.
She did. I mean, when Des first got here, her range was about 10, 12 feet from the basket, and she gradually has extended that range. That's been something she's worked really hard on. And now from 15 feet, she's comfortable. She'll catch and shoot it from 15 feet. And then it's been about extending it now to the 3-point range. And, she goes 2 for 3 in that Temple game, and the shots she hit were huge, and they were confidence builders, and they were momentum builders. And, that's something that I'm just really proud of Des for the work she's put in to be able to have that kind of game.
Yeah, and Maya Mayberry ended up going 4 for 5 from 3, and she was in double figures as well. She had 15 points, but you add up the 2 for 3 from Desiree and the 4 for 5 from Maya. Everybody else went like 0 for 12 from 3-point range. Those two pulled you through, but you just have to have that 3rd, 4th, and 5th shooter come through for you. I'm sure.
Those two kind of kept us in the game, and we needed somebody else to come forward to push us over the top, and just didn't get it that night. There'll be other games, though, where somebody's going to have that opportunity.
Well, and you think about Yvette Mayberry, Maya's sister, you forget she's a freshman. She's played so well so early, and she had a freshman game. Yeah,
and Temple did a good job of trying to take the ball out of her hands. They were trapping her, coming off on-ball screens, and really she was a focal point for them, specifically because of the way she played against Oklahoma State. And, they know that, she's very capable of hitting the long shot and also getting to the rim and get to the free throw line. So that's just a growing type thing, and she'll get more accustomed to handling that kind of pressure. But again, like you said, we've got to have some other people step up and fill the void when things aren't going well for somebody that maybe started the game.
Big home date coming up on Wednesday for the Golden Hurricane. We'll return in a moment on the Matilda Mossman Show and talk about a big date against a ranked team in the American Athletic Conference. That's coming up next.
Are the American.
What is true blue? It's true loyalty, supporting others with unwavering commitment. It's true innovation, thinking creatively and strategically to make a difference. It's true strength, taking risks and standing up for what's right. True Blue is a 125-year legacy. Find the true you at the University of Tulsa.
We're back on the Matilda Mossman Show, and Coach, the only good thing about being 0-2 is you got 18 more of those. The expanded schedule in the league means you have 18 more of those to kind of, to get it going in the league. And boy, what a way to get it going. If you can get a win against South Florida's USF, number 20 in the nation on Wednesday, it'd be a huge start to this league season in the turnaround.
Yeah, and I think our guys are comfortable playing against them. When you look at USF's roster, it's the same guys that they had last year. It's a veteran team, very balanced. Their top 5 scorers are all averaging almost 9 points a game or more. Nobody's averaging more than 12, so very balanced attack. Very good combination of outside perimeter shooting and inside scoring around the rim. Erica Sidney has the opportunity to go get threes and get herself to the free throw line. Usually that's not, or I'm sorry, Sydney Harvey. Sydney, most of the time when you have a really good 3-point shooter, she doesn't get to the line that much because she's going to catch and shoot it. But in this scenario, Sydney is a really good 3-point shooter. In fact, leads the team in 3-point attempts, but also leads the team in free throw attempts. So that's very rare, but it also means that she's just good at reading defenses, and she's going to take what you give her, and if you're going to crowd her at the 3-point line, she's going to go attack, and if you don't close out long, she's going to shoot the 3.
Well, in the days of UConn, USF really was the most consistent second best team, if you will, in the league, and they're the favorite in the league this year. But they've been, UCF is good, Tulane has been good through the years, your team has been good. There's been a lot of good teams kind of back and forth, but USF has probably been the most consistent team over the last 5 years.
They've definitely been the most consistent. In most of the years when UConn was ranked 1, USF was typically ranked 2nd or 3rd. And now coming into this season, preseason, USF was ranked number 1. They're the only nationally ranked team in the league. But again, they got a veteran squad. Those guys have played together for a while. They don't have a lot of things you have to hide. All those guys can play. They have very high IQs. They really spread the floor. They pass the ball really, really well. They'll make the extra pass almost every time. Really good at reversing. Really good at spreading. So it gives us a huge challenge.
Yeah, you got enough to worry about coming up on Wednesday here at the Reynolds Center with the USF, but then on Saturday you're on the road. You're going to Dallas. You take on SMU. So I mean, now we're in the middle of it. It's on and on now.
Yeah, but also you're getting to a little bit more of a routine where we play Wednesday, Saturday. The only difference is going to come around when games that have been postponed. We're trying to make up games, so now you may find yourself 3 games in a week. And hopefully we can get some games made up. Right now we only have the one postponement to Wichita State, and we'll try to find a time, and maybe that time is the end of the season when we go to WSU at the last game of the year. Maybe we just go up there and play, back to back, and that way we make that game up. But fingers crossed, prayers up that we don't have to miss very many more. Yeah,
and that is something that the fans should come to possibly expect, and that's that kind of doubleheader scenario. When a game gets canceled, then all of a sudden you may have to play 2 at a site, whether it's here or on the road, right? Right.
Just like on Wednesday, Temple at Tulane has been canceled already. The Central Florida Memphis game for Wednesday has been canceled. So they're going to continue to be more. We just got to, roll with it. Whatever happens, you just, okay, that's what happens. Let's move on.
Yeah, and even though 2020 is going to end before we do our next show, Coach, the effects of it's going to continue through the entire season. And again, you just have to be as flexible as possible and try to be as safe as possible. Right?
Absolutely. Flexibility is the key word. And like you said, the key is keeping everybody safe, keeping everybody healthy. We're not going to risk the health of our student athletes just to play a basketball game. So right now our guys have continued to do the right thing and practice the right protocol, and sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get unlucky, but I think for the most part our guys are doing their best at keeping themselves healthy and safe.
Coach, thank you and have a great week.
All right, thank you and Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Happy New Year to all of the Hurricane family. And that'll do it for the Matilda Mossman Show. We'll talk to you next week.